I was often told, um, "Shh, be quiet, tone it down. People won't like you.
Mm-hmm.
You're so hyper, or just um, when I would often younger come in as me, people would just be like, "Whoa!" And so I'd always have to tone it down. Well, when I would tone it down, I would just come across as awkward, and so
Mm.
I couldn't find that like happy medium. I couldn't find that. There's a time and a place to be, you know, fully yourself, and there's a time when it needs to be toned down, but you can still be you. And I had a hard time, you know, finding that. And I think I probably went from one side of the pendulum to the other. Like, okay, so if I can't be me, then I need to be something else, as opposed to maybe just a toned
Mm-hmm.
down area of me.
Mm-hmm.
And so
Yeah.
just growing up, I got this messaging that you are not okay.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think all of us, I mean, I hold the belief that all of us are scared of rejection on some level and that that plays out in so many different ways. But yeah, for you, it's tapped into, it's like, yeah, that makes complete sense. You had this messaging that said basically that version of you is being rejected and not wanted. And so, and when that feels like your happiest, brightest, shiniest version of yourself, that would do a lot of damage. And you've done a lot of work around since then. You were referring to it earlier, like on the Enneagram, identifying that you're a six. Which how does that inform this understanding of your own fear of rejection?
Oh my goodness, the Enneagram was really freeing for me. It was able, it helped me understand why everything was seen through a lens of fear that I just assumed everybody else was doing too. And so, so I liken it to in any situation, I can stand and I can see every path to get to the other side. So picture it, I'm on an island and I need to get to the mainland, and I can see every single way to get there. The problem is most people maybe just see one way and it's the right way, and so they hop on the boat and they just go. And other people might see many different ways and they'll be like, "Oh, this one looks like the most fun way, or this one looks like the most practical way." I see every single way, and then I see everything that could possibly go wrong on all of it. They're like little brachial tubes that you see in like the lungs, and then I see everything that can go wrong with that and go. So then I just don't ever leave the island. I don't ever take that
Mm,
like
that's
first
such a
step.
great metaphor. Yeah. Yeah. Why would you when you see all the danger and
Right.
all the problems? Yeah.
And
That's
then
such a great metaphor.
it took one of our friends to say, I don't know, it was probably year 10 or something, like, and we still didn't know the Enneagram yet. And she was like, "Have you noticed that all of your fears, like not one of them has come true?" And I was like, whoa. And now that I know the Enneagram, I'm like, no, they're not supposed to come true. Like they really don't exist, unless I want them to. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah.
In
Yeah. Yeah.
general. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, when you see all the things that could go wrong, it's focusing on the things that would make sense to paralyze you and keep you on the island for sure. So, yeah, I think that's interesting to weave in here too. You know, I mean, I think all of us have a sense of not wanting to be rejected. And for you, there's been a lot of a sense of being rejected, of feeling like you're scared of being rejected, and then you've got these fears and the ability when you're looking at relationships to see all the different ways you might like that metaphor of the island, getting off the island could be true of your relationships too. Probably you
Yes.
meet people and can see what.
Yeah. Well, so my when you were saying all these different perceptions, so I now know they're in my mind. It's the chatter that's in my mind. And I can change them, and nothing on the outside has actually changed. I didn't
Mm,
know that at the time. So they were all what I would call like reality. They were all my reality. They are all true. And it was based a lot of times on emotion or misread thoughts, or, whatever chatter in my mind. And when I started to realize that I could separate those, that was really helpful. So what I would do before with all this chatter in my mind, I would meet someone, and I contend that when I am in my integrity, I am a very bright, light, windy essence that people like to be around. And so I
yes.
tend to draw people in very easily. The problem is, though, is that before I took your seminar and read your books and what have you, I realized I was going too vulnerable too quickly because I thought to myself, if I could just get out all of the gunk right now, then they will see exactly who I am and then they will reject me right now. And I won't have to go through the pain of really getting to know someone and getting my heart broken. I'll just get rejected
Mm.
on the first few, times we're together. And I think that that's what comes across as a lot. I think that comes across as I don't want to be around that. And so it's like, okay, if I got rejected because I wasn't as invested, and as we know, that's not building the triangle of frientimacy, and that's not going to get us to the appropriate level of vulnerability at the appropriate time. So I don't do that as much anymore. I do still, because I'm human, but
Yeah, yeah, no. And that's so, isn't it so interesting that the biggest fear is rejection, and yet you were bravely going in and saying, reject me sooner than later. Like you weren't trying to avoid it, you
yeah.
were trying to like almost force it.